Thank you so much for tuning into Earth Tone TV. My name is Jay, and I want to be honest about something. This is not the video that I wanted to post next. And like I said in my introduction video, it was supposed to be my review on Grey's Anatomy season 20. But I guess the Lord just had different plans for me, because as soon as I started editing my footage for the last review, things started to go a little sideways. I was noticing my computer was slower. I couldn't really do as much as I used to. The playback was bad. And I tried everything. I tried to reset things, get a new program, get a different program, get new software. But I think the issue is my beloved but geriatric laptop. Let me not say geriatric, seasoned. But she's not working the way she used to. And it was just slowing down so bad. I think the point is I have to get a new laptop, which is not the worst thing in the world. Honestly, I still have the footage. My laptop still turns on and everything. And I've had this laptop for years now. I knew she was going to have her moment, but I didn't know it was going to be like this. And I already did the first video with her. So I was like, oh, so everything must be fine. While I'm getting the new laptop, while I'm fixing all that behind the scenes, I knew I had to follow the #1 cardinal rule for content creating, which is post something consistently, or something along the lines. I'm paraphrasing it. I knew I could post something that was TV related because I watched the Emmys the other day. I was forced to watch the commercials, and a lot of the commercials were promoting new shows that were coming out in the fall, because fall lineup is always busy and full of new shows. Some of these shows are already out by the time I'm making this video. But this video will be my review on what I hope to see from these shows, what I like, what I don't like, and also I'll be doing how many seasons I think they'll last. First things first, can I get a round of applause for the journal? Look at how cute she is. Cute little strawberries on her. Got her from Barnes & Noble, and I'm finally deciding to use her. And then she has a little pattern on it. So cute. Too much money. Way too much money. Spent way too much money on it. I don't think 20. Less than 20. But, you know, that's just Barnes & Noble. All right, so first up, we have NCIS Origins. Now, this is a CBS original, and it's a prequel to NCIS. What I gauge from it is that it's going to be about Gibbs before NCIS, like the show, and how he came to be, and his origin story. I never watched NCIS. I was never NCIS fan. I'm actually watching Criminal Minds right now, but I've never really watched NCIS, so I don't really know what to look out for, what to look forward to. But if I know origins and prequels and all that, it's going to be lots of cameos, inside jokes, and then, you know, a love interest that we'll never hear about again. I was looking at the cast. I don't really know anybody here. I thought I knew the captain, but I think just in the specific scenes, he kind of looked like a mix of the guy from My Name is Earl and the fathers from Twilight. He just looked like their baby. Tell me if I'm wrong. Doesn't he look like, in that shot specifically, doesn't he look like, you know, he kind of gives, no? Is it only me? I looked him up and I don't know him from anything. When I looked up the cast, I noticed that they also had, I think it's Mark Harmon, right? They have the guy that plays older Gibbs as a character, as one of the cast members. I don't know if he's going to be a narrator or it's going to be a flash forward sometimes. I don't know if the whole thing is going to be flashbacks. If the whole thing is going to be flashbacks, I'm telling you right now, it's going to be less than 3 seasons. Nobody likes to watch a show of just full flashbacks. Nobody. So I don't know how he's going to play a role into his own prequel. We'll see, I guess. Anywho, I don't know what year either, because it says it's a prequel, and it says I think he just got from the Navy, but it doesn't specify like what year. And even in the trailer, they talk about how he failed his psych exam.
If my wife and daughter were murdered, I would be crazy too.
But we don't really see him going insane. Like, no rage, no crying bits. If you're going to say somebody is insane or failed a psych exam or whatever, I'd like to see them actually start to like unravel a bit. And also, this is him younger, so we should be seeing like the immediate effects of that. I think that would have amped up the trailer a little bit more and be like, ooh, how is this crazy guy gonna get you know what I mean? Like, I feel like that would have been something interesting to look forward to, at least. All right, so from this, honestly, I put it down for 2 to 3 seasons. Now, it is a CBS original, so I'm gonna guess that the first like 2 seasons are gonna be on regular everyday cable, but I feel like the 3rd season they're gonna lose ratings and they're gonna just put the third season exclusively on Paramount Plus, because I've been noticing a lot of networks and stuff like that, because a lot of people have their own subscription and streaming service, a lot of them will just put a show back on the streaming service exclusively. So I think around the third season they'll get it. I think the first two seasons, or the first season, will pretty solid, but I don't know where else can you go from there. That's the problem with prequels and origins and stuff like that. Okay, next up we have Murder in a Small Town. So this one is based on a book, and it's 70 something pages. 179 pages, that's a limited series, babe. To put it in perspective, The Giver, because I had to look it up, The Giver is 179, and The Murder in a Small Town is like 176. Anywho, this is based on a book where, well, there's murders happening in a small town, and it's about this, kind of cold, steely detective that comes from a big city, and he moves to a small town for reasons. He says to get away from the big city life, but that's not enough. That's not going to be a good enough explanation. And also, while he's trying to find the murderers, he falls in love with this woman. That's all I really got from that. The woman that plays the love interest, I know her from Smallville. She's also in The Reacher, and she's in a couple other things. She's in a couple of roles. This trope of this person sees things that other people can't. They're
amazing. I like figuring things out.
Like that Sherlockian trope was like, what's missing, what's here. I just have that detective eye. It's like, okay, cool. This show, I only expect the first season from it. After they find out who the murderer is, whatever. Where else can you go with this show? Is the love story that important that it's going to make me want to watch it more? Don't really know much about the detective anyway, so it's like I don't really care to know his story. So I'm going to guess one season for this guy. I just feel like it should have been a limited series instead. Next trailer that I'll be reviewing is Dexter Original Sin. So the thing is, I also didn't watch Dexter, even though I know a lot of people are fans of it. And also, when I looked it up, I found that there's a lot of other Dexter like miniseries and limited series and prequel, sequel, side events. I'm like, dang, I didn't know Dexter fans had it like that. I thought this was just a prequel to original Dexter. But as I was watching the trailer, there's a lot of big names in there: Kristen Milan, Patrick Dempsey, Christian Slater. There's a lot of big hitters in there, so this might be kind of good. The trailer was pretty dope because I like the song behind it. It did have that feeling to it. I might give the prequel a go because I don't know if I'm going to watch like 8 seasons of Dexter first. This one comes out in like December though. I give it 3 seasons. I think it looks like it has some potential to look good. So I'm going to give it 3 seasons. If you're a Dexter fan, please let me know after you watch the trailer. What do you expect from it? Do you still watch Dexter? What do you hope to see? What not to see? Let me know. And we have High Potential. High Potential, it's about a woman who has a really high IQ, who is a mother of 3, and she helps detectives solve cases with her high IQ, but she's not an officer. She's not a detective herself. She's just a regular person. And again, it's another one of the tropes where the Sherlockian trope where I see things that other people can't.
We could use someone with your talents.
Me? Work with cops?
This cast, I know a lot of people from it, especially the main character. I think everybody knows her from It's Always Sunny. She's also in The Mick, and she also just guest stars in a lot of comedies. The woman that plays the captain, she was in Claws, she was in Scrubs. I think she was in Devious Maids. The guy that plays the main detective, I know him from Rescue Me and something else. He was in something else. I think he was in Law & Order. But I do like the cast. The cast seems like they'll work well together. But watching the trailer kind of reminded me of me watching the Mick trailer. I don't know, it just seemed like too many similarities. She looks exactly the same. Nothing really different about how she dresses, her hair, her look. I can't really differentiate those two characters. And since it's the same actress playing the same two characters, it's like, I wish they would have done something to differentiate her so it doesn't look as much like the Mick. I don't know if it's just this trailer that I watched. The comedy felt kind of not bad, just neutral. And with these characters, with these certain actors, I know that they can do that. I was kind of hoping, I guess, for more like quick and witty, like a back and forth type of thing. Because I know that I've seen them all in shows where they can do quick and witty and really clever type of comedy. That's what I was hoping for, at least. But I didn't see it in that particular trailer. This one I give 2 seasons. Like I said, it looks exactly like the Mick, and the Mick lasted 2 seasons as well. The first season's gonna be like, oh, second's gonna be like, I could be wrong, but I don't think so. I could be wrong, but I don't think I'm wrong. Again, it's that same idea of like, I see things that other people can't, but I'm also a human being. So many different shows do this. So many, and it's a common theme so far. I think that's one of the reasons why I don't think it'll last that long. Moving on to Dr. Odyssey. Well, I saw like a teaser for it. Like, this looks like somebody took 911 episode, like it was a 3-part episode, the one where they were based on a cruise. And they're just going through all these different types of shenanigans. And like, this looks like they took those 3 episodes and were like, we got to make this into a TV show. And lo and behold, the same executive producer for 911 is the same one for Dr. Odyssey. And I was like, that makes much more sense. But no tea, no shade on Ryan Murphy, because I like Ryan Murphy's work. If you don't know him, he's responsible for Glee, American Horror Story, Scream Queen. He did Hollywood. He did the Menendez brothers or something brothers, the Lyle. He does that too. Oh, he's also responsible for Grotesquier. I forgot what it's called. But Niecy Nash is in it. And if it's going to have Niecy Nash and Ryan Murphy, okay, I'm on it. Now, it is a procedural, which means it's going to last a couple of seasons. But also, as limited as this looks, I believe in Ryan Murphy. Ryan Murphy's always going to make something very captivating, very entertaining. He's always going to have really great characters. He's going to have a lot of over the top, sometimes overboard, pun intended, moments. But it's going to be good. It's going to be very entertaining. You're going to be enthralled. One thing that does look a little worrisome to me is that these characters don't look that interesting so far. So far, nobody has jumped out to me. I'm like, oh, I'd like to see what they do or what's going on with them. Because even the doctor, like Dr. Odyssey, whatever his name is, I'm like, okay, well, what's his deal? He's a doctor. Cool. Handsome doctor. Great. And what is his shtick? What is his deal? Is he afraid of water? Does he get easily see? Like, what makes him interesting? What makes me want to watch this? But I do believe in Ryan Murphy, so I'm going to give it a chance regardless. I know it's going to be entertaining, so I'm going to give it 4 seasons. So we'll see what happens with all of that. Next trailer will be for the Matlock sequel. I put sequel as a question mark in my notes, but then in the trailer, when she was talking, she was like, oh, Matlock, like the show.
Who are you?
Madeline Matlock, like the old TV show.
I wasn't a huge fan of Matlock, but I was kind of curious to see how they would take this show literally from like the freaking 80s, 90s and try to revamp it and have that lineage and all that. I thought it was a bona fide sequel, but I guess she just took the name. But it does have Kathy Bates in it, and I love Kathy Bates. I'm sure you've seen Kathy Bates in American Horror Story, The Family That Prays, Waterboy, Misery. I'm sure you've seen Kathy Bates. There's no way you haven't. You watch anything, you don't know who Kathy Bates is. I'm really excited to see her back on TV. The Matlock trailer was really good. They used Toxic by Britney Spears, and they slowed it down. I was like, okay. And she also has a secret. And like, okay, what's going on? So it's a little hints of things in there that I feel like were missing in some of the other trailers. And that kind of makes me intrigued. I wouldn't say excited, but it makes me curious. I'm like, okay, what's gonna happen now? What is the real, what's gonna happen? What's the real reason why she's here? Things like that. So we'll see. I hope they don't play too much into that old lady role, because she mentions it twice in the promo. It's like, oh, because I'm just an old lady, they don't expect anything from me, and I'm just a sweet old lady, and they don't know anything, but I'm a kick-ass lawyer too. It's like, okay, anything else, babes? Also, in the trailer that I watched, she mentioned something about having to raise a 12-year-old.
I woke up at 75 years old without a husband or money and a 12-year-old kid to raise.
But then that never gets brought up in the rest of the trailer. Like, we don't see the 12-year-old. We don't see her like, is that your granddaughter? Is somebody that you're adopted? We don't really see that 12-year-old after that. So I don't know if that was just a goof. Why we even mention that if you're not going to bring the child up ever again, or at least let us see who this child is, this 12-year-old is. I don't really know where the rest of the cast is from, but since it is a procedural drama, I'm going to give it 4 to 5 seasons. You can't really mess up procedural. They just last. They're meant to last. They're very sustainable. However, asterisk, because it is an older woman playing the main character, it may only be like 2 seasons. It may not last as long. So, because the thing about Hollywood is pretty ageist when it comes to stuff like that, and the ratings don't go as well, and people don't watch when, you know, older people, especially older women, are the main characters. But we'll see. It could be changing. It could be switched around. But this is one of the ones I will actually watch too, because again, I love Kathy Bates. So we'll see. Hopefully this isn't too cringy. It's actually kind of funny. Now we have Agatha All Along. I'm more of a Marvel passive fan. I jump in and out when I please, but when it comes to like the TV shows and all that, I guess this is the show where the villain from WandaVision gets her own show and she's trying to get her powers back, and she tries to do like a whole witches coven type thing with all these other witches and a lot of women. Yay! A lot of women of color at that. It looks very colorful. Looks like there's a lot of magic and it's very pretty, colorful, big. It has to only be 1 season. I think WandaVision was 1 season, right? Am I tripping? If it's a show that obviously can only be 1 season, like I feel like just call it a limited series or a mini series. You know, don't try to make it a regular TV show. They could make it so that she's like not as evil and she turns into an anti-hero in the end. I would say it's gonna lose steam after that, but I feel like Marvel shows, they don't really lose steam. I feel like they're Frankenstein. Like even if nobody watches it, they will bring it back to life to make sure somebody is paying for this Disney Plus for it. And then this last one, Rescue High Surf. So looks like a procedural. Okay. A rescue procedural drama. Again, one of those things that you can't mess up. Procedural. The thing about procedurals, you're supposed to have obviously a good procedure, an interesting location, and a good team or a good ensemble. So if you have those 3, you're set. You're good to go. You cannot mess that up at all. This one, however, I have a qualm. I have a big problem with this one. It's a rescue drama about surfing and, you know, the high tides of this North Shore.
Welcome to Oahu. A lot of tradition.
Okay, listen. Lifeguards in a very dangerous part of Hawaii, the coast of Hawaii, and you have Hawaiian culture everywhere, and yet the main character is a white woman. Why is this show set in Hawaii, about Hawaii, with a white woman lead? That don't make sense to me. It does not make sense to me. If you were to sit here and be like, oh, well, this is a Californian thing and this is the lead, sure, absolutely. If you're going to keep mentioning Hawaii, if we're going to be set in Hawaii, it should be a native Hawaiian lead. It should not be a white woman lead. And on top of that, this white woman lead, right? Her love interest is also a Australian white man who's married to an Australian woman, and they have like this will they won't they thing going on. So already we're 3 white characters deep in a Hawaiian show. Why? There's other Hawaiians in the show, like the captain's Hawaiian, okay, and then the 2 of the rookies are Hawaiian. The rookies are Hawaiian? Not the 2 rookies are Hawaiian, but not the Australian and the other lady. Y'all. And the thing is, like, it's not that I want to get rid of her character or, you know, the white characters at all. It's just they shouldn't be the main characters. They should be side characters. If anything, it could be like the captain was a white woman and then the female lead was a native Hawaiian who was gunning for that spot as captain. Automatically, it'd be like, okay, well, who's going to get it? Like, what's going to happen? They could be very competitive with each other, you know? But the main character should not be... The main character should have been native Hawaiian. That is my biggest issue. I think white people have taken enough from Hawaiians. I think this is the last thing they need. This is the last thing they need, okay? We can at least give them a show about them with them as the main character. Imagine you try to watch a show like about Black Baptist Church and the main character is a white man. Think! That wouldn't make sense. That wouldn't make any sense. You could still have the white woman as a character. She should just be either a side character or the captain or even a rookie, but she should not be the main character. That's my rant. That's my biggest issue with this, right? What else? And also the rookie should be the Aussie, you know? That would be cool. Have the Australian be like qualified, overly qualified, really, or he was a captain at his old whatever, and he comes into the North Shore. He's like, yeah, I know all this stuff. Da, 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 da. And they're like, no, you got to start off as a rookie. No, I know all these things. Da, 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 da. And he has to start off as a rookie again because they're like, no, the way you do things over there is not the way we do things over here. And he gets humbled, right? Like, okay, fine, I'll have to start off as a rookie, whatever. Or even so, he's like, oh, back in Australia, I used to be top dog. And now I have to start off as a rookie here because I got in trouble and I had to redo all my training, whatever. And he's like trying to skip through all that training. Man, have me on the show, bro. I'll write this thing for you real quick. You feel me? I'll fix it up real quick for you. Stop playing with me. I'll clean it up real nice for you, man. Oh, what are we doing over there? What's going on? What's going on? Ay. Other than that big thing that I mentioned, from what I see, I don't really see anything standing out to me, right? I told you about the love triangle between the main character, the Aussie, and the Aussie's fiance / wife, who knows. There's a will they, won't they with the rookies.
Are you asking me out?
Depends. Would you say yes?
Okay. And then there's the player Hawaiian. Is the ladies' man. It's like, okay, and what? Something needs to stand out to me. I need to see something different. I need to see something that's like, okay, well, maybe I'll give this a shot. Because right now, nothing's standing out to me. Frankly, I give her a season. And not even trying to be like a hater. I don't see it going past the season because it's like, why would I watch this? The stereotypes are stereotyping, so it's just like, there's nothing new. There's nothing fresh. There's something interesting about them. You just had to make that main character white. Why? For what? These are the shows that are specifically coming out that really just came up on my feed a lot, one, and also that I watched during the Emmys. Now I feel like I have to give an overall review of what I'm seeing so far with these shows this season. Like I said before, I watched some of these promos during the Emmys. And in the Emmys, they had a whole segment about diversity and inclusion and how they're doing this and that and the third. And yeah, I'm watching this. I'm watching promos to shows like this. Why isn't this fall lineup reflecting that? Affirmative action was only taken out of schools. It wasn't taken out of the media. So where are my, where are they at? Where are my main characters? If you have the same idea of the show, you're going to keep with the same idea. Just bring in a person of color and a writer, obviously, who knows what they're writing about. If you do that, it just changes the whole perspective and it makes something a little more interesting. Imagine if you're going out to lunch and they keep giving you a ham sandwich. Whole wheat bread, American cheese, ham. You get the ham sandwich today. You get it tomorrow. Get it the next day. Oh, today's Swiss, but it's still a ham sandwich. I don't mind a ham sandwich, but can you switch it up a little more on me? Can we get a different type of bread? Can we add some lettuce, tomatoes, onions? Can we get a different type of ham? Damn. I think I'm just hungry. I mean, I know I'm making my point, but I think I'm hungrily making my point. You get me? But yeah, just the whole diversity thing. It doesn't have to be cringy. It doesn't have to be over the top. Me, black, I'm black. When I'm black, and I black. When I black, I like to black. It doesn't have to be like that. That's one of my issues with the overall problem of what I've been seeing in this fall lineup. I'm tired of the trope where it's like this detective, this person can see things that other people can't see. That's another one we need to let go. Sherlock ended years ago. Y'all, we need to let it go. Sherlock ended. We need to let it go. And the funniest thing about it too is that I wouldn't be so gung-ho to let it go if we just got different perspectives. I say this because I'm not trying to be super PC, super woke, but I'm saying this because we need something different. We need something new. If in High Potential, it was a Hispanic immigrant who barely spoke English, but was, knocking things out and letting you know what the deal was. Oh, I'm watching the show. Maybe her English is broken. She had a problem with the law before, and that's why she's so invested into this. It's going to be like, oh, well, how are they going to play this out? All of a sudden, you're intrigued. There's so many different things that are running through your brain. Like, how are they going to do this? How's she going to do this? I would watch the show. Even somebody with a disability. What's it called? What's the one show? In the Dark. In the Dark is so freaking good. Not only because it's good writing, it's very thrilling, but also the main character has a disability. She's blind. She's literally blind. And that creates so many different layers of what the F is going to happen. Like, what's going to go on? Took something that we've seen before, which is like, okay, these people are getting into a situation they have no business being in, which is drug dealing and drug selling, but she's blind. It's like, oh, what? How's she going to get out of this one? There has to be something different. There has to be something special. There has to be something about them. Not just, oh, I see things that other people can't see. That's not enough. It's not enough. It's not working no more. I'm sorry. You got to add a little something to it. You got to add a little zhuzh to it. You got to put some sazon. It has to be something else. I've noticed this myself, which is like shows aren't being invested in as much. Everything is like, not to sound like Beyonce, but
people don't make albums anymore. They don't make albums. They just try to sell a bunch of little quick singles and they burn out and they put out a new one and they burn out and they put out a new one.
And she's right. It's the same thing with TV. It's just nobody really wants to sit down and invest in a good TV show. I've seen this change happen over time. I remember being younger, the fall lineups, that first season, you're getting 25 episodes. Easy. If anything, you're getting 13. 13 episodes now, you're lucky to get that on a Netflix original that they've been shoving down your throat. 13 episodes was like a pilot season for a lot of shows. And then the second season, 25. 25. And these are hour-long episodes, so 25 episodes. Now, you're lucky you're seeing 10, 8. We're seeing 8 now. It's like, I don't want to watch 8 hours of a show. You might as well just make it like a movie franchise. I don't want to watch that, you know? But something that I watched the other day, TikToker. Sorry, I gotta help myself. There's a TikToker that I watched, and he was basically talking about, I like the term that he used. He said the Teamification of goods and services. And he's basically talking about how everybody's just trying to make a quick buck, and there's a lot of scams going on because of that. They'll try to sell you a low value or low quality item or service for just to make a bigger profit.
Nowadays, I feel like nobody's trying to run a business. They're trying to run a hustle. Almost like this race to the bottom where everyone's trying to find like, what's the cheapest, lowest effort product I can make and sell for the most money possible, right? There's never been a bigger discrepancy between quality and price. Like people are just kind of Temu-ifying everything in their life, right? If things are going to fall apart and be cheap anyway, I might as well get the actual cheapest price I can get for everything.
And you'll see it with hairstylists, with makeup artists, with clothes designers, you know? And so I think that idea of the Teamification of something also reflects to television. There's a time 10, 15 years ago, shows were made to last. Shows were made to last at least, you had to last at least like 5 seasons. You know, if they invested in you, if you were getting that all clear to go ahead, you're going to last 5 seasons and you're going to have like 20 episodes each. You got to hit that 100 episode mark, because then companies invest in the shows. The actors invested in the show. These things were not like, okay, well, if we're going to put this money into the show, we're going to put our all into it. And even things like the acting and the writing were better quality because those were invested in. I've heard where actors are now being asked how many Instagram followers you have. How many, excuse me? Instagram followers? What does that matter? I want to see you cry on scene right now. I want to see you cry on scene right now. Give me a monologue right now. Hurry up. How many Instagram followers? No. That's it. They just want eyes. They just want eyes on the screen. I made a great analogy the other day for this. Everybody knows what a sparkler is, right? You know, you light them up. You're like, oh my God, this is so cute. Ah, so fun. Cool. Are you going to drive out of your way to go watch somebody light a sparkler? Doesn't matter if it's 12 people, 14 people lighting sparklers. You're not going to go out of your way to watch that. But if he was doing a fireworks show, I'm like, oh, okay. Because with a fireworks show, I know I'm getting all these colors, all these lights, all these different sounds. You know I'm getting an extravaganza. I know I'm getting my money's worth. I would go out of my way to watch that. You're not going out of your way to watch somebody light a sparkler. With these shows, you're watching a lot of sparklers. They're quick. They're season, 2 seasons, limited series, very short. They're not really made to last. And they're fun. They have a great premise sometimes. Sometimes they light up, sometimes they don't. We all know that happens with sparklers. And as quickly as it came, it's gone. We just have a lot of CGI-filled sequels and prequels, and that can't make it more than a season because we're trying to make a quick buck. And you want to see something that's a little more hearty, that you'd be like, oh my God, I can't wait till the new season of this and that comes out. Instead of being like, oh, I wonder if it got canceled. Ho hum. You know? And I'm sorry, I didn't mean to end on such a sour note, but I will say this. There are still people making good quality shows. There are still people that are making good quality content. And when you see it, you'll know it. You're watching this video, aren't you? So I know you know good quality. Which means if you see it on Netflix or Hulu or Paramount or Stars or wherever you watch your shows on, make sure you like it. You don't have to like this video. I mean, it'd be nice, but you don't have to like this video. But make sure if you like something on TV, make sure you like it. You give it a thumbs up, because they'll give you the option for most likely. They'll be like, oh, add to your wish list or add to your list, like or dislike. Make sure you like it. If there's something you don't like, make sure you don't like it. Make sure you say, I don't want to see this no more, because that's what really matters. You are the one that are guiding this ship. Don't think it's the other way around. Okay? And you tell people about it. Let people know, oh, by the way, this show looks really good. Yes, the internet is quick. Yes, hashtags are fast. But word of mouth, baby, do not underestimate word of mouth. Even though these are the lineups, the promos that I watch, that doesn't mean I'm giving up hope on TV, because there's still a lot of great shows that are coming out that have been done before, that have great ideas, great writers, great actors, all of that. So I still have hope. I'm still holding out hope. And I think you should too. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I am so sorry for the whole Grey's Anatomy kerfuffle. Hopefully I'll get something out soon. If anything, I'll definitely be posting something else. Maybe not a review, but I'll definitely be back with something. So don't be a stranger and come back soon. See you.